Hello, good people of Ableton land. I'm back once again with another device. This time I've delved into something I've been wanting to do since I started this development journey, and that is my first granular offering. So granular synthesis, if you're not familiar, is essentially taking a piece of audio and chopping it up into teeny tiny grains, like say 10 to maybe 300 milliseconds, and then playing back many of them at the same time to create pads, textures, drones, etc. There's many granular devices out there. Most have some overlap, but I've tried to take the parts of granular synthesis that I love and then inject some of my own iJo audio flavor, add some bells and whistles and some things that I think sets it apart from other devices. So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of these various panels, and then we'll put some audio into this device, and I'll show you a few ways I think you can use Grainstorm to great effect. So bottom left, this is where you start. You drop your audio onto this panel, and then it appears up here. So we'll just take a loop and drop it like so, and then we see it up top. This pink bar is the playhead, and it determines where in the audio file the grains will be played from. I'll just press play for a sec. So if you like, you can just manually drag the playhead around and scrub through the audio. You find something you like, you stop, you experiment with some of the other controls. To the right, we also have various ways to move the playhead without having to do it manually. So the move control right now is set to manual, but we can turn it to 8 bars. And now it's going to take 8 bars for the playhead to move from the beginning to the end of this file. And we can make it much more extreme, like so, and get some real slow sweeping drones quite quickly. Another control I've added here is Decay. This basically adds little envelopes, almost like an arpeggiator, as it moves. So I'll turn this up to 1/8, and you can see it just adds little attacks and releases, essentially, and we can change the ramp. Or we can shorten it to make little clicks. I'll turn off the decay for a moment. This one, SNH, stands for sample and hold, and it's not really sample and hold, but it's the closest descriptor I could find to explain what it does. It is just going to move the playhead at intervals rather than a continuous slow motion, but I'll set it to a quarter note, and now you can see that instead of just moving slowly and continuously, it now jumps every quarter note. Set it to half. The ramp doesn't do anything if decay is off also. Further to the right, we have the real guts of a granular device. Density determines the amount of grains that are going to be generated. Size sets the size of each grain. Ranges from just a few milliseconds to a few hundred milliseconds. And then spray allows grains further away from the playhead to also get played. If it's turned all the way off or down, you'll only get grains that are exactly where the playhead is. Let's just turn this back to manual, and we'll set playhead here, and then I'll demonstrate. So again, if it's turned all the way down, you only get grains that are exactly where the playhead is, and then the further you turn it up, the more chance you'll also get grains added in from further down the waveform. Moving back down, we've got the logo, and then we've got a little visualizer here that attempts to display various parameters of the device as you move the knobs. I'm actually really enjoying building these more sophisticated UI bits And I think this will become a new part of all my devices moving forward. And then here we've got controls to add stereo widening to the sound. Then we can shift the pitch up or down. Spread is similar to spray in that the further you turn it, the more chance you'll get other pitches of grains mixed in. And then if it's down, you'll just get the one pitch. And then jitter is another pitch shifting effect, but in subtler amounts, adding more like a tape warble or a vibrato to the grains. And then next we have the smooth control, and it really does just that. It smooths out grains where they're perhaps a bit too abrasive, a bit clicky, etc. Let's turn the pitch back up. So it's subtle, but just kind of rolls off some of the highs. Then we've got this one knob reverb here, and I'll say this, it's not subtle. I figure if you want a subtle reverb, you can just add your favorite reverb plugin to the track chain and call it a day, but this is more like a quick and easy way to make anything sound dreamy. It's basically a full wet reverb, and the decay increases as you turn the dial. And then you've also got a freeze button here, which will freeze in place the current sound passing through it while letting a bit of the grains through. And this is a very easy way to make anything sound like a dreamy pad or a drone. There was also a kind of a popular thing on the internet several years ago where people would take pop songs like Justin Bieber and slow them down 800% and basically instantly create these beautiful ambient pieces out of them. And this reverb combined with this move control set to a real long time, it'll do exactly that. I think it's a nice little thing to have. So over here we've got another little UI visualization because I'm just having so much fun designing them. And then finally the magic panel. If you've used some of my other devices, this will be familiar to you. It's basically an offering of 7 different multi-effects where each one reacts differently to this magic amount dial. So we've got a lush chorus. We've got a sort of a stereo widening effect. We've got a pretty intense tremolo. There's a soft clipping distortion. And then a few modes which are a bit off the wall that combine delays with pitch shifters, taking like a plain bit of audio and turning it into like a drunken sailor or a woozy merry-go-round, or I don't know. I just like the idea of having options. So the Magic Panel has many, many options for you to explore. So that's the overview. That's the walkthrough of Grainstorm. I think it's fun. I think it's, as someone who dabbles with ambient music, I think there's so much potential for creating a pretty large ambient sound out of a small bit of audio. I think there's a lot of exploration to be had here, and it seems like a lot of the people that are following my channel are people who delve in some sort of ambient or psychedelic music. And so, yeah, I hope you like it. I hope that it brings you some inspiration, as always. That's what it's all about, really. I think this will be the first of many granular devices for me going forward, because I think there's so much potential to do new and different things in this field. And I've learned a lot in my development journey, and now feel quite comfortable building these more complicated devices. And so I think that's what's coming next. The device is available in my 2 shops, one on Gumroad, one on Ko-fi.com. And let me just say, I appreciate you. As I always say, I appreciate this community of very sweet and lovely musicians that we're building here. I get the nicest notes from you, comments on the videos and emails, and it's so cool to hear music that you're making with these devices I'm building. I feel very lucky to be in the place I'm in. I am doing all this by myself in a very small room in an apartment in Riga, Latvia, where me and my wife are raising a very sweet toddler, and it's so cool. I'm so grateful to be able to do this from home, to be around and just have this happy little family. So again, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this far in the video. Thank you to past customers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you very much. If you need anything, if you have any questions, comments, etc., feel free to reach out. And thank you for your time. Peace.